Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm gonna be doing a makeup toot on this look that I'm wearing right now. This is the look that I wore last week. It was very requested by you guys on Snapchat, so I decided to film it for you today. I wore this when I was out in the desert for Desi's lookbook video that she's doing for like festival stuff, like Coachella. I've never been to Coachella, I wouldn't know what to do there, but I feel like this is also a makeup look you could wear there. All right, so I recreated this look for you guys today, so let's go ahead and get started.
Block is hot.
All right, so I'm gonna start off by adding the concealer to my under eye area. I mean, really in here because the eyeshadow does go so far in this. You wanna make sure you have your concealer on the inner corners before you start putting eyeshadow on. So I'm gonna be using my Bye Bye Under Eye, It Cosmetics, and the shade is Neutral Medium. So I like to apply it with a concealer brush. This is the MAC 247. And then buff it out with my Morphe brush. This is the E8 brush. All right, now I'm gonna add some primer to my lids, and I'm using the Benefit Air Patrol one. Really love this one. If you're like me, you got little vein action going on your lids. This is a very lightweight primer, but it does do a little bit of concealing and kind of color correcting on the lids, and it's a really good primer. All right, and then I always like to set the primer with a little bit of shadow or translucent powder. I'm gonna try out this shade from the Melt Stack that I'm gonna be using today, and this is the color Blurr. Pretty close to like skin tone, just lightly dusting it on the lids. That way we have a nice smooth surface to work with once we start applying the shadow. A little bit deeper than my skin tone. I'm actually gonna go back in with a little translucent powder because that was a little too dark. All right, so the first shadow color I'm gonna use is Unseen from the stack, which I love this eyeshadow color. You could dust this all over your lid for a wash of color, which is kind of what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna start using this shade, kind of do a soft wash, and you can build it up as you go. So we're gonna be doing the V on the outer edge, bringing it into the upper crease area, and then like straight up into the eyebrow. Just doing the old swoosharoo right up into the brow, really focusing it on that inner brow bone area. That's gonna make it look more edgy instead of just going straight down into the crease area. And to do that, I'm gonna be using the Zueva 227 Soft Definer Brush, which is a really great brush for adding that nice soft wash, but you can also build it up really easily. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, girl.
So when I take the eyeshadow from the top of the brow and I drag it down, I make sure that I actually bring the eyeshadow out and we're kind of winging it out a bit more than normal, because if you just take it straight down, it's gonna do like this curvy thing around my eye shape anyway. So I don't want it to do that. I want it to look nice and straight right here, be like a really cool angle. So instead of taking it from the brow and going straight down, I'm taking it out to the side and winging out the shadow, kind of similar to like a winged eyeliner, but we're just taking the shadow out there so that way it's nice and fierce. All right, now we have the general shape of the eyeshadow that we want, and we're gonna start layering on more smoky colors. So I'm gonna go in with this next color. This is Enigma. You can make it more red. I really like this burgundy shade. It's not red or pink. It's just exactly what you see in the pan. And also, I'll probably lay on a little bit of brown, but we'll start with this one, and you can see and tweak it how you like to do it. And I'm using a Smith 247 brush. This one is nice and small. It's a little bit flatter and longer than like a MAC 217. So we're gonna go ahead and lightly add that to the highest point of the shape that we added. So normally in eyeshadow, we would be adding it the darkest shades below the transition colors into the crease. I'm gonna be doing the reverse of that this time. So I'm actually gonna be adding it to the very top of the shape that we created. All right, and then we're gonna deepen it up a little bit more, but I'm not gonna use the black that's in the stack because it's just a little bit too dark in my opinion. But you could definitely, if you wanted to be really dramatic, you could do the black. But I'm gonna go with a dark brown, and I'm gonna use Galapagos, one of my favorite brown eyeshadows by NARS. So I'm just gonna use that same brush and start layering that really lightly on the outer edge. And with this dark brown shadow, we're gonna make sure that we're also doing it on the highest point of the eyeshadow. All right, and now for the lid color, I'm gonna be taking Peach Smoothie from Makeup Geek because the Blurr shade in the stack is just not the right color. I need something, or I wanted something a little bit brighter. So I used Peach Smoothie, perfect shade, perfect peachy, bright shade for the lid. And I'm gonna be adding it to just the inner corner right here and like just right here on the lash line. All right, now I'm just gonna add a little bit of black liner to the lash line. All right, so I am, I don't know, I want to say like 50% done with the eyes. What I like to do is like after I put on my lashes, I like to put on my face and then see how I feel about the eyeshadow. So it's like a good base right now, but I like to build it up. So now we're gonna go ahead and do foundation. And I'm gonna be trying out a new foundation today. This is the Milani Conceal Plus Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation Plus Concealer. This is in the shade Sand Beige. So we're gonna give this a try. This is gonna be my first time trying it out on my face. I've never used it before, so this will be a first impression. First thing I see about this foundation that I like is the pump. I'm a fan of the pump. I like the pump, I like the tube, I like the dropper. So I'm gonna pump some out onto here. It's a pretty thick texture. It looks like a similar texture to the L'Oreal Infallible so far. And I'm gonna use a damp beauty blender to apply it. Whoa. Whoa, girl.
Whoa there.
Whoa there. All right, so first impressions of this foundation. First of all, this is really, really tan. I see that. I'm very aware of how tan it is. It's a little tanner than I thought it was gonna be. I was trying to get something as close to the Armani foundation as I could. I think once I put, my brows and my highlight on, I think it'll blend in a little bit more nicely. It applies really, really nicely. It has a great finish to it. The coverage it's nice, but I thought it was gonna be a little bit more full coverage. This seems pretty similar to like the Makeup Forever, a little bit more coverage than Makeup Forever Ultra HD. I have all the shades of this foundation, so I'm gonna spend some more time, get to know the shades a little bit better. I think this one's really nice. It is just a hint, a kiss. It's a kiss warm. Now I'm gonna go ahead and highlight my under eye area using the NARS Custard Concealer. All right, so I like to do one eye and set it, and then do the other eye and set it, because I feel like it looks better. It gives me more time, when I do it that way. So I'm just gonna buff it in. My NARS concealer does blend in pretty nicely to this foundation. Sometimes it changes it. So like with the L'Oreal Infallible foundation, oh my God. Sometimes when I use that and I put other products on top of it, it just like pulls it off my skin. Like everything comes off when I try and buff it out. It's like just a hot mess. But this one is blending nicely so far, which is very good. And then to set my under eyes, I've been using the RCMA No Color Powder, and I changed the way I set it. I now use one of these sponges. I just go like this, I stick it in here, like that. And then I just so I just kind of put it right here, right up into the lower, a little bit on the apple of the cheek, a little bit between the eyes. If it spills like all over my face, it's not that big of a deal because it's transparent anyway, you know what I mean? So I let that sit, and then I go ahead and do the other under eye. I just feel like it's like less pressure when I do one eye at a time, Let the boy watch. All right, so while this is doing what it does, I'm gonna go ahead and do my highlight. And I'm gonna be using the Sonia Kashuk highlighter stick. This is in the shade Sparkling Sands. I got this because of you guys. You recommended it to me, and I love it. It's a really, really nice cream highlighter that you can add to the tops of the cheekbones. You can add a powder on top of it, or you can skip the powder, do what you want to do. It's a little bit different from the Sephora drops because it's not as like shimmery. Not that the Sephora drops are like glittery, but it's a little bit more fine than that, which I really, really like. And the texture of it is really nice too. So I just take a little bit of it on my finger and beat it.
Beat it.
All right, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of the Tarte Skin Twinkle palette. I'm gonna use the champagne gold color right here. And oh, that's real bright. Shit.
You got white shit on your face?
Shut up, girl. All right, and then I'm going to dust off the excess powder using my e.l.f. small tapered brush. Looks a little bright right now, but it just starts to melt into the skin really nicely. All right, so now I'm gonna add my MAC pressed powder, Select Sheer Duo Fiber brush. I bought this at IMATS many, many moons ago. It's just like a, I don't know, just a little duo fiber, but it's my favorite one. Set the old face. The old face.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so now I'm gonna do a little contour. I feel like me not having brows on is distracting me right now. I'm gonna do a little contour using my NYX contour kit, and I'm gonna try out the new Dose of Colors brush. This is the angled contour, and look how pretty, so chic. Chic brush. This contour one is very similar to the Marc Jacobs one that I've been using. This is the blush brush number 10. This is why I'm trying this one out. It's pretty similar. It's a little bit thinner, but this is what's been like making my contour more fierce these days. So okay, so whenever I do this type of eyeshadow where it goes up into the brow bone, I feel like I can get away with an extra strong, or I almost need it, like a stronger nose contour that just goes straight from eyeshadow, bam, right here. I love strong nose contours right here when they're just like, phew, I feel like it's just so fierce, you know? So I used this color from the NYX palette to do my cheek contour, but for doing my nose contour, I like to use this one because it's less warm than the other one. And I'm using my Morphe E13 brush, which is kind of fluffy. It's my favorite brush to use. So I dip a little bit into there and I tap off excess so it's not like too strong to start out. I like to build it up. So then I just start like right in here where the eyeshadow is and just start bringing it down. Just like that. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's almost part of the eyeshadow in essence. And then you can take a little bit of that yellow powder that's in the highlight contour palette and just, you can make it a little more dramatic, you know? Pop it. That's the one time I just like it really fierce right there. Just almost like a warrior. Before I finish the rest of the face, let's get back to the eyes. We're gonna add some more of the NARS Galapagos color, and I'm gonna be using the Luxie 231 brush. This is the same brush I'm gonna be using on my lower lash line. This is my new favorite, and we're just gonna focus it right up in here. All right, now I'm gonna take that Zueva brush that I used to apply the first eyeshadow color. I'm gonna be buffing all in this area right here, literally bringing it down into the contour zone and pulling it towards the lash line. Now I'm gonna add an inner corner highlight, and I'm gonna use the Mary Luminizer from the Balm because it's just one of the best inner corner highlights. And then for the lower lash line, I'm gonna take that Luxie brush, that 231, the first eyeshadow color that we applied, Unseen, and really just get it in here. And then using a Morphe E36 brush, I'm gonna add the red color in the palette, Enigma, onto the lower lash line. And when I did this look, when I was in the desert that day, I didn't have anything in my waterline. It was a little bit of a softer, lighter look, but I did something similar the next day where I put black in my waterline and I really liked it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the heavier lower lash line today, and I'm gonna add the NARS kohl liner. This is the black kohl liner into my waterline. And then I like to smoke it out with black eyeshadow. So I set it with black eyeshadow, and then I also smoke it out even more on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna use the Dark Matter Black, and this is a Bare Minerals Soft Focus Liner Brush. All right, so now I'm finally ready to put my eyebrows on, my goodness. And today I'm just gonna use brow powder. So I'm gonna be using the medium browns in the front sections of my brow, and then towards the tail, I like to use the dark part of the dark brown powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the tail and work my way forward. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that champagne gold right there, a little on the CB, 26 or Raisin. They're pretty similar. Raisin's a little bit more on like the bronzy side. I'm gonna actually go with number 26 today. So I'm gonna use the Lactic Face Glow in Bronze, and this is the Japanesque brush. These brushes are really, I almost whacked myself with it. These brushes are really nice, very lightweight. The taperedness on them is really great. This is the one that I've been using like for putting just glow like on my forehead or other areas of my face that I just wanna add a little bit of glow at. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this Lactic powder and just dust it on the cheeks. A little bit up here. Just throw it on. All right, now for lips. I've been loving like the more brownie nudes. So I'm gonna start with the Oak Lip Liner from MAC. Favorite lip liner ever. All right, so you guys know my go-to is always Peach Talk, right? Look how flat it is. It's so weird. I don't know why it does that. Still love it. I'm finding it's a little bit lighter than what I want right now. Let's test out Blankety. Blankety is a little bit pinker than what I'm looking for. Let's keep moving. Naturally transformed. This feels like a winner to me. Oh, wow. I used to hate this lipstick, man. I bought it so long ago. I was like, why did I buy this? I hate this. But see, if you hold on to something long enough, you're gonna like it eventually. You know what I'm saying?
Like me.
Just like you. God, now I'm debating if I even want to put a gloss on, but this was like what I really wanted to talk about. My favorite gloss, I've talked about this on Snapchat a few times. It's the NYX Extreme Lip Cream. This is the color Skin Tone. And I did go online to check to see if they had more shades that I would really like, but this was really the only one. There was another one, like a nudie one that looked okay, but the other ones were really pinky. And I'm just not really in like a pink place right now. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot mascara. Sometimes I just want to skip it on my lower lashes, you know? Real quick, Too Faced, waterproof, better than sex. Just real quick. Always real quick. All right, so that wraps up this makeup toot. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.